it was just hilarious to see these influencers sit with the Mohun Bagan fans and cheer and chant with the Mohun Bagan fans when Mohun Bagan scored the goal. And then at the end of it, they're on the pitch chilling with the Mumbai FC players, like just like, हाँ चलो medal दिखाओ कैमरा को, trophy दिखाओ कैमरा को, हम तो best friends है. मतलब थोड़ा तो grow a fucking spine. Oh, Mukesh, what a lovely Monday this is. Regardless of what happens in the Premier League, where I may or may not support a team, it feels so good to know that my home team has won a trophy. Yes, Mumbai City FC have won the ISL trophy 2023-24. What a feeling to wake up as a champion. Oof, it's been a while.
Yes, and it seems like it felt like a very exciting match. Like it didn't seem like a drubbing of any sorts. The atmosphere was fantastic, at least like from the screen which I saw. I wasn't there
Yeah,
in the stadium, but it just felt
yeah.
like a worthy final. Uh, Man, Indian football is looking great. What a final, right? What a good looking final.
Yeah.
Like, um,
Yeah, and the thing is, it's not just this one game. Of course, this one game was fantastic, but overall in the season, I think uh, Mumbai City FC have done something spectacular because they've had to deal with a lot of issues. Obviously, Des Buckingham left in the middle of the season, so going through a change of coach in the middle of the season is never easy. Adapted to that really well. After Des left, a couple of key players also left in the winter transfer window. Roston Griffiths, Greg Stewart, a couple of key players happened to move on, and as Mumbai City FC fans, we were worried about how we're going to cope with the loss of these two players who've been very, very instrumental in the success that Mumbai City have had in the past few seasons. But dealt with that fairly well. Got a fantastic Spanish forward by the name of Iker Goretzena, who hit the ground running, started scoring goals right from the start. But then we lost him to an ACL injury. So it was just one setback after the other, and to still finish the league in second place, which we could have also won had it not been to that last day defeat to Mohun Bagan, uh, to finish second in the league and then to defeat FC Goa the way we did in the semi-finals, coming back from 2-0 down at the Fatorda in Goa to win 3-2, and then a really well organized victory at the Mumbai Football Arena. I think this team has grown so well, and it was revenge time against those Mohun Bagan Super Giants.
yes, and
Oh, it felt so good.
in Calcutta, like it was what 62,000 was that the official count of the number of fans, and it real
62,000.
and it. I'm sorry, but it was so like watching the match. I barely saw Mumbai FC supporters. Like it just felt like so for the team to
There
perform in
were
front of
20 of
them.
them.
Oh wow!
20 Mumbai City FC supporters from the
Oh
West Coast Brigade
wow!
actually traveled to Kolkata for the game. And they were there. They were singing, they were dancing, they did the Poznan when we scored every goal,
Oh
as they do here at
wow!
the Mumbai Football Arena. And the beauty is because they traveled to Kolkata, the team hosted them for the
Oh,
post
how
victory
sweet!
celebrations. So
How
all these
sweet!
20 fans were partying with the squad, and it was just fantastic to see because that is the beauty of Indian football, right? And maybe it's because it's not as big as European football, one may say, but the
And it's
beauty is there
incredible.
is such a lovely
Finish. Sorry.
no, there's such a lovely connection between the team and the fans. Like literally, fans go up to the coach and give him a hug. Like you can't ever imagine that happening in the Premier League, right? But it's happening here, and I would implore people in India who follow football to find your local ISL team or in ISL team that's not in your city or state, but you just identify with and love, and get involved, man, because these are the golden years, and it's something else.
Yeah, and it's incredible because we don't have the so-called numbers, and yet first of all, 62,000 people turned up. So you got
Yeah.
and you got the 20 people who turned up for the other team to celebrate with the actual team. Like you have, it's
Yeah.
changed that you can fill out stadiums and still get an intimate experience with the team. Like I feel like it's Indian football is in a really nice place. Like it's not so poor that there's like 10 people in the whole stadium, but it's also not so big that teams can't afford to celebrate with fans individually. So I think it's probably the
Yeah.
best time to be an Indian football fan, because you can get moments like this, right? You get a
100%.
full stadium, you get access to the players and the coach. Oh my god! But the game
100%.
itself was exciting. I
100%.
feel like enough praising him,
Fantastic. Yeah.
right?
In fact, so I was at Ghatkopar Social, where the fans had organized an official screening over here. So it was packed. There were about 300 fans
Nice,
in Ghatkopar Social, just singing and partying, right?
nice.
And as soon as the game started, Mumbai City were dominating. Mohun Bagan didn't have an inch into the game. The Mumbai goalkeeper Purva Lachenpa barely had anything to do. He had just one save with his feet that he had to make. But apart from that, they had nothing happening in the Mumbai City half. Right, like Mumbai City were dominating that entire first half. And then the mistake happens.
Yeah.
Purva doesn't parry the ball away from goal. He parries it straight in the way of Jason Cummings from Mohun Bagan, who slots it in. And while the mood suddenly went down and everybody was worried about what is going to happen, because let's not forget, Mohun Bagan are a very, very strong club. They are probably, and people might say that, oh, because Mumbai City is City Football Group, they have a lot of money. Mohun Bagan actually have the most expensive squad.
Yeah.
It's not it's not Mumbai City FC, and they're going to make even bigger transfers if rumors are to be believed next season. And obviously, like, it's not an easy game, right? Like, it's not an easy opponent, it's not an easy game. So everybody was a little down. And I remember speaking to a bunch of fans and I said, I am so happy that Mohun Bagan have scored right now against the run of play at 40 minutes or 38 minutes or whatever it was, close to halftime. And I'm so happy that they are going into halftime 1-0 up, because if with this much possession, with this much dominance, if Mumbai would have gone into halftime 0-0,
Mhm.
they would have come back out and they would have been a different team altogether. And by they, I mean Mohun Bagan. And
Yeah.
they would have scored later on in the second half. It would have been difficult. But because Mohun Bagan scored in the first half and they went into halftime 1-0 up, I feel like the coach Peter Kratky knew exactly what needed to be done, what needed to be said to those players at halftime. And when they came back out, it was more of the same. Like, it was the same level of dominance and they finished their chances. And it was a perfect performance.
And it was incredible because I think for the first 43 minutes, I think Mohun Bagan didn't even attack. I don't know if they
Yeah.
even had a shot or let alone a shot on target. And suddenly out of nowhere, that was like one belter of a shot. And then Lachenpa does, which actually I don't even think he meant to parry it. I think he tried to collect it and then probably and messed up in position.
I
And
I think I think he was just surprised. He
yeah,
wasn't
yeah,
expecting that.
he
He was,
was
because
not
it was
expecting a
from
shot.
a fair
Yeah,
distance out.
yeah. And the power, I think he was also not expecting that level
Yeah.
of power because they had, I think there was something almost Atletico Madrid-esque in the way Mohun Bagan were playing, in that there was like a deep block, and then it was like you wait and you wait, and then they took that one chance they got. And I think they were prepared for a 1-0 victory. It looked like, I think, in the second half, like you said, they were very happy with Mumbai having the ball, and they were like, okay, we will hold this scoreline till as long as we can, and then we will see if we can sneak in a late goal to make it 2-0. But they look like they would have been very happy with a 1-0 score, even at the 80th minute or 85th minute, which I think
Yeah.
was probably the one mistake that they did. Like, I think they could have played with Mumbai's nerves a little more, but I think the way Mumbai came out just attacking, Kolkata just wanted to absorb, or Mohun Bagan just wanted to absorb the pressure, and then I think that was a big mistake they did.
Absolutely. And we mentioned how 20 people from Mumbai traveled over there. There were a few other people from all over the country. Some influencers were in the stands. And
Influencers
I
not
think
named Amogh and Mukesh. Oh my god, terrible, terrible.
influencers not named Amogh and Mukesh. Listen. I do my work for the team that I support. All right,
Correct.
not for anybody else. Tomorrow, if Mohun Bagan came to me and offered me a truckload of more cash, I wouldn't go and do it because it goes against everything that I believe in.
10
But
crores.
uh, uh, we'll think about it. Uh, listen, home loan सबको भरना है. ठीक है,
Home
at
loan
the end
सबको
of the
भरना है.
day, if it's life changing money, then maybe. But I don't think these influencers were being paid life changing money. I
That's
just
true.
found it extremely, like, it was just hilarious to see these influencers sit with the Mohun Bagan fans and cheer and chant with the Mohun Bagan fans when Mohun Bagan score the goal. And then at the end of it, they're on the pitch chilling with the Mumbai FC players, like just like, हाँ चलो medal दिखाओ कैमरा को, trophy दिखाओ कैमरा को, हम तो best friends है. मतलब थोड़ा तुम grow a fucking spine. Like honestly, तुम लोग इतना बोलते हो, अरे हाँ यूरोपियन फुटबॉल फैन कल्चर इतना अमेजिंग होता है, like oh fuck, you know I'm a United fan, I'll only support United bro, I'm a Chelsea fan, everything else is shit. But इधर सब प्लास्टिक गिरी आ जाता है ना, which is fucking annoying as shit.
And it's kind of gross because I don't know if they know, but it's being recorded.
Yeah.
Behaving like there is no
अरे
live recording of this match.
they are
And I'm like,
putting it up themselves. मैंने एक reel
hmm,
देखा, first half of the reel the dude was in the stands with Mohun Bagan enjoying and partying with them when they scored the goal, like oh fuck my team has scored. And second half of the reel was trophy celebration, chilling with
yes.
Vikram Pratap. You know, I'm like,
I think
yeah.
it's like they misunderstood the meaning of at 45 minutes you change your side, and I'm like that doesn't apply to
हाँ.
fans. that applies only to the teams playing. You don't change the sides that you support there.
Oh my god, this is what I call the speedification of India. Like you're getting nonsense chuti up into the world of football. Fucking zero self awareness, I feel. But I'm sure they got paid for it, so well done. I, I just feel like if you ask them, no, if you go to any of these influencers and ask them, "Acha, listen, which ISL club do you support?" They'll have no answer. Oh, actually, I support East Mohun Bagan. Uh, East Mohun
Chennai
Bagan
Super,
City FC.
yeah, Chennai Super Kings FC, CSKFC,
Actually, bro, I support Real Barcelona.
Real Barcelona.
तो थोड़ा थोड़ा अगर पूछेंगे ना ऐसे सुपरफिशियल के ऊपर का थोड़ा पूछेंगे ना तो सब all the
they're
all the
very,
realities I
they're not
feel
superficial.
will
They're
come
very
out.
much official about who they support.
They're very official about who they support, right? But great stuff, great stuff. It is great to have a trophy in the bag. Haven't felt that with Manchester United in a very long time, so I'm happy that Mumbai City FC is doing it, a club that is closer geographically to where I am located, so there is a little more identity. Also, cricket lovers, sharam karo yaar. Mumbai Indians, the fucking nonsense that Mumbai Indians is pulling out in the IPL, Mumbai City FC is compensating for that on the football pitch.
That's
So
true.
I feel like if
Some
there is one sport that you
bringing the
should follow.
memories to Mumbai.
Yeah, exactly. Right, should we go over to the Premier League then? Shall we talk
Oh,
about
wow. Both are clubs.
because because see, my club hasn't played. My club is playing later tonight, so
But are you happy with where your
this,
club is in general? Like,
I have not been happy with where my club is for the last 10 years.
fair enough.
So it has become default setting for me.
Amogh, this used to be my default setting, and now I'm not
The
happy
hope
coming
has
back
killed you, no?
home. The hope is killing me. I'm done. I'm
The
done. I'm
hope
done.
has killed you.
Now I think I'm faintly remembering the 2010 to 2015, 16 Liverpool, those 5-6 years of supporting Liverpool, where like
Hmm.
it was banter. Like it was even
Yeah,
banter was too pathetic. So I'm in that
yeah.
era. I'm remembering
You're
those
in your
days, those feelings.
you're in your banter era. But no, we are not beginning with Liverpool, so you have some time. You
I
have
have
some
some
time
time.
before we get down to the thing. And also, when we do get to Liverpool, we'll be talking about how they won. Like they did manage to win this weekend, so that's a good thing. But we'll start off
Yeah.
with Arsenal 3, Bournemouth 0. Arsenal's title charge continues. 2 games to go, and Arsenal are sitting on top of the Premier League. 1 point gap, of course, between them and Man City in second, who, of course, have a game in hand. 3 goals by Arsenal. But I think the biggest talking point was the Bournemouth goal from Dominic Solanke, which was disallowed by VAR. Every time I feel like the referees in the Premier League could not get worse. They just come at me and say, bro, 2 मिनट रुक, मैं तेरे को एक और नया option देता हूँ.
Yeah.
What the
I
fuck was
mean,
that decision?
this entire season, honestly, like there's a part of me that every time Liverpool have lost, right, the title, whether by 1 point or by many points, or missed out on Champions League qualifications, but I was very happy to blame it on the team and to dissect the season. But I think because of this season, I'm just like I'm even at the risk of sounding like, oh, blaming it on whatever, a bad worksman blames his tools type. Even I don't mind just completely blaming the refereeing and being like, hey, actually my team was perfect and great, and they should have been title winners, or at least in the contention till the final week. But I'm okay with it. So yeah, I think there was another big error, which felt like a very blatant error going in favor of Arsenal.
Hmm.
Um, and at this point, the only reason to support it is like, chalo, it's not only Man City that's getting favors. That seems like the
Hmm.
only reason for me to think it's a good thing.
No, I feel like at the end of the day, there are so many narratives about, oh, the top six teams are being favored. And if Akash was here as our Everton
Oh,
representative, I'm sure he would come up with a list of incidents where it can be proven
yeah,
that the top six clubs are being favored. But I feel that in general, refereeing just tutty hai. Like
yeah,
there's no logic or there's no algorithm to it. It's completely at random. And unfortunately, the problem is that the bottom teams have been coming on the end of it a lot more often than not. But at the same time, even the big teams get decisions that go against them, and it's just generally very awful refereeing. And you would expect that to get better with the introduction of VAR, with the introduction of replays and technology, but somehow it's just gotten worse.
yeah. And I think the problem is now, I mean, it's what we've talked about, right? Like, you can take your time, you're adding on the extra minutes, and then why? Why? If it's going to be shit and it's shit and a slower game. Before it used to be, okay, I'm like, okay, before refereeing was shit, but we got on with it because we're like, okay, they don't have the tools to check or whatever. Now
Hmm.
it's like you have the tools and you're giving us a slower game, and no goal is really a goal. You know what I'm
Yeah.
trying to say? If there's like a 3 minutes lag between a goal and it being a goal.
Yeah.
So
You
yeah.
think Anthony had it right all along with his multiple celebrations for one goal? Like एक celebration pre VAR, एक celebration post VAR, एक celebration fans के साथ.
Yeah,
He's
and
got
one
it
for the
covered.
family. And he's
One
got
for
one
the
for the
family.
family.
Yeah. Did you, by the way, just speaking about that while we're on that topic, you remember we spoke about this in the last episode where Anthony scored the goal, and he took out that Sonic the Hedgehog toy, and that was one of his three celebrations for the goal, right? It turns out that the guy who gave him the Sonic the Hedgehog soft toy, who was by the advertising hoardings, was a personal photographer hired by Anthony. He wasn't a club photographer or a Premier League photographer. He was a personal photographer hired by Anthony at the start of the season. And he has
Oh
been
wow.
hired to take photos of Anthony while he plays, which is fine. Okay, तेरे को करना है, तेरे को photos Instagram पे डालने का है, वो करे, सब ठीक है. But that poor guy has been holding on to that Sonic the Hedgehog fucking soft toy from game week 1. And he
And can you
finally
imagine,
got to use it.
every time he's entered Old Trafford, he's had to show it to the security guard, saying, "I've got my Sonic the Hedgehog toy." Right? He's had to
That
show it to
security
them.
guard also must be like, dude, you probably need to see a therapist if you're this
Yeah,
attached to a soft toy, bro. You're like 40. Like,
yeah.
क्या हो रहा है तेरे
He's like,
life में?
and at some point,
Uh,
like, at first when he's like, "Oh, it's a great gig," right? At first, the first 3 weeks, he's like, "It's a great gig. I get to
yeah,
enter the stadium probably free. I get paid for
yeah,
to do this shit."
yeah.
And after a point, he's like questioning. He's like, "What am I doing in life? Like, forget what Anthony is doing in his life. What am I doing in my life? Entering every game week across the
Yeah,
country.
yeah.
I've become an urban legend among security guards. That what is in
Dude,
that?" And they probably ripped open that soft toy to be like, "What is in this, dude? Are you trying to like smuggle some
yeah.
drugs in?" And he's like, "No, I can't tell you what it's for." Disgusting.
Do you think Anthony gets a different Sonic the Hedgehog toy for every match? Because they get different jerseys every match, right? They don't wear the same jersey again. वो अपने जैसा नहीं है कि वो
Uh,
washing machine में डालते हैं. They get new jerseys every match. So you think there's like 38 Sonic the Hedgehog toys just kept in stockpile somewhere
I'd
that
actually
Anthony
like
has
to
to go to.
believe it's the same one. He just
Okay.
had one and it's been going in the washing machine and coming out, and it's a little like weathered, and it's like,
Yeah.
and finally he gets to dispose it. And like even his son is like, "I don't want this nonsense."
Yeah. But yes, Arsenal still getting the victory against Bournemouth, coming back to that key issue. Uh, on the other hand, City are going strong as well. City basically just saying that if you think you can beat us to this title, that's not going to happen, because this is the time where even Erling Haaland is going to come back in form. When the last few game weeks he was out of form, but City beating Wolves 5-1. Erling Haaland scoring 4 of those 5 goals. Julian Alvarez came on and scored the fifth. But this is time pass कर रहे हैं ये लोग.
4 goals, and he was so unhappy when he was substituted.
Yeah, he
Like
was.
he didn't take
But I think that's because he felt he had more goals in him. And that again
yeah.
shows the mark of a proper elite level athlete. कि मैं form में मेरे को score करने का है. Like we used to see this with Ronaldo, right? He was so annoyed whenever he was taken off, because he's like, man, if I'm on the pitch, I can at least get some more goals and add to my tally. And that's, I think, exactly what Haaland is also doing. But on
Amog,
that
don't you
note,
miss? Yeah, we don't have strikers like that. You don't have a
no,
striker who's scoring
no,
that regularly, and I have
we
a striker
barely
who
have a
misses
team.
regularly. Yeah, and my striker thinks hitting the net is the same as hitting the post.
Yeah,
So yeah,
yeah. For him, everything is a crossbar challenge.
everything is a
In his
crossbar
head,
challenge.
in his head,
He's
he's
on a
killing it.
YouTube video.
Yeah. No, but on the Haaland topic, him being subbed off and not liking it, obviously he was not happy. But I guess considering he's coming back from injury, I think Guardiola also wanted to manage his minutes. But Roy Keane had something very interesting to say. Of course, the context to this is that Roy Keane has been battling Erling Haaland for a while now. Of course, we discussed this a few episodes ago, where Keane called him a League Two level player when he was not in form. And after this game, Haaland was asked about Roy Keane's comments, and he says, "I don't care about that man. Not that man, as in I don't care about Roy Keane." He just said, "I don't care about that man." Like, man.
Oh,
Uh,
is that how it was? Because I think I didn't hear it. I read it, so I totally read it as
yeah.
a I don't care about that man in particular. And I thought, oh wow, he's addressing it.
I mean,
Okay,
considering the
thank you for
history
this
that Roy Keane has
clarification.
with the
The
considering the
Holland
history that
bloodline.
yeah, considering that history, I wouldn't be surprised if Haaland actually meant that man in particular. Uh, but Keane again pointed out how he reacted to the substitution, and he called him a spoilt brat. He said, again, him going off like that, having a go at his manager, is acting like a spoiled brat. Now, of course, he's scoring and Man City are winning, so it doesn't get highlighted a lot. Whereas because Liverpool aren't winning and Salah wasn't scoring, his spat with Klopp gets highlighted. But this is just spoiled behavior, and it was really awkward
I'm
in the
s-
Sky Sports studio, because the host laughed at Roy Keane and told him, "Yeah, but he scored 4 goals, so not all that spoiled, right?"
and
And
also
Roy
I'm
Keane
sorry.
gave him the most threatening of glares, and there was like a 30-second silence in the studio, and they swiftly moved on. But it looked like Roy Keane had blood in his eyes. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if next weekend the Sky Sports host has changed and we never hear from this guy again, because he's going to be found in some forest somewhere in the UK.
I'm sorry, but I don't know if Roy Keane ever had a public dispute with Alex Ferguson, but there is no way in hell that Roy Keane of all people is calling any player who's arguing with his coach or showing a public display of anger or arrogance or brat, because Roy Keane's entire thing was that, and it was that with victory, so it looked like a glorious thing. But if on the off chance that there wasn't any victory, he would have looked like Neil Maupay. So I'm sorry, he cannot call. Roy Keane of all people cannot call. I'm sorry, I respect his career, whatever, all of that nonsense. But
Hmm.
there is no way he can call any player. And if anything, players are the nicest now. In fact, they're too nice. So I don't know. Like, I mean, I'm all for trashing on City and City's players on the off chance that it brings them down even a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe they win 4-1 instead of 5-1. But yes, Roy Keane of all people calling someone a brat was the worst idea ever.
I think the thing with Roy Keane also is, no, I think he's leaning into the stereotype that he's created for himself as a television pundit. And it makes for good television. I don't know if that's actually what he believes or what he doesn't, but I feel like we're living in an age now where all these panelists like Roy Keane, Gary Neville, Carragher, they're all playing caricatures of themselves.
Sure,
Because
I get what you mean.
there are times when all of them act so obtuse, and especially Neville and Carragher. I feel like Roy Keane, I still do feel that he has some interesting opinions, but with Carragher and Neville, they're so blinded by their love for their clubs that they stop being a little objective sometimes, which
It's not, but
is
I think it's
nice.
what you
But
said early on. No, but I think you're spot on that they've figured out their television personalities,
yeah,
right? They figured those out. They figured out what gets the views and what doesn't get the views, or what gets the anger, and then they escalate that like crazy. Like
yeah,
Carragher will play the drunk, almost like the drunk uncle, and quite literally the drunk uncle going by his Champions League shenanigans, his tactics. Gary Neville just plays up his United, staunch United supporter side too much, even to the point where he looks a little stupid even supporting them. And I
yeah.
think you're spot on. And I think the only thing I can conclude from any of this is that Amog, you and I should figure out what our caricatures are and play. Should I play the idiot? I'll play the idiot, Amog.
I don't think
What
you
is
need to play
yours?
it.
I'll watch me play it. Watch me be dumber than this.
अरे सर आप तो natural है. But no, what that means is Arsenal are
Watch me
top of the league.
Botox myself. But yeah, sorry,
No,
finish it.
no.
Sam.
What that means is Arsenal are top of the league with 83 points and 36 games played. Man City at 82 with a game in hand. Liverpool in third place with 78 points. So basically, if Man City get a victory or if Arsenal get a draw, then that is it for Liverpool. Like they are then officially and mathematically out of the title race.
I was out at Crystal Palace. Like,
Ah,
I don't even think there's even one Liverpool fan who's like, hey, please, Bhagwan, there's still one chance. They're calculating. There is, unless that, unless it's some Ramanujam reincarnated level Liverpool fan, there is not some maths freak who's calculating permutation combination. There is not one single Liverpool fan who's like, hey man, we could still win this thing. Like, I think there's no need. I think it's pretty much between City and Arsenal.
yeah.
And honestly, I was kind of hoping Arsenal win it, but after interacting with a few Arsenal fans, I'm like, you know what? City take it. We'll forget it the next morning. You know what? And we can
I
come back.
that see that's
And
true,
I
right?
get it. And I totally get why for the last couple of years, every other non-Liverpool fan was supporting City. Because, yeah,
Yeah.
just the thought of Arsenal fans winning and then them being arrogant. Oh, so
Oh no, it
I'm not,
wasn't just Arsenal
not
fans. It
having
was
it.
also Liverpool fans. Just the thought of Liverpool fans winning and then being arrogant was
That's what I get
also
it. That's
fucking
one thing. I
annoying.
get it. Now that I was like, I'm a football purist. I will want, I will want good football to win. And now suddenly that my team's out. I'm like, yeah, fuck it.
Dude,
I'm like,
I
let
feel
them
like
win match fixers.
so I started off wanting City to win because of the exact thing that you said that हाँ ठीक है if City win one more title nobody will give a fuck because anyway they barely have fans and uh,
Yeah.
what's the worst that'll happen? They'll have another parade in Manchester where three people will turn up and nothing else will come off it. Like it is just
Yep. I
routine. But if
completely agree.
Arsenal win the league or if Liverpool win the league, then we'll never hear the end of it.
That's true.
But
Liverpool won one league in
considering
30
that
years, and
if
I haven't
City
stopped talking shit since then.
exactly. But considering that a league title this season will give Man City a record of winning four titles in a row, I'm a little more open to Arsenal winning it. I'm like, chal na ek thoda change, fresh air. I feel like Arsenal fans are still a little more tolerable than Liverpool fans. So why
Oh,
not give them a
that's
go?
terrible. Oh my god, Amog, I don't think you've understood what you've said. You will rue these words for it to
Why would
happen.
I rue these words? मेरा क्या है हम तो 8th position में हैं. We're playing Crystal
No, no,
Palace
no.
tonight. Nothing is going
I
to
don't
happen.
think you're fully, or maybe I don't think you're fully prepared for how incredibly annoying Arsenal fans are going to get. They're going to
अरे
pretend like they were here all along. Oh my god, trust me, it's going to be atrocious.
it
But
is
yeah,
going
let's
to
see.
get
I mean, it's all in
atrocious.
Guardiola's hands.
Yeah, it is. And we'll think about that while we take a break. On the other side, we're going to talk about Chelsea's 5-0 victory over West Ham, Klopp's rants about fixture congestion, and some Spurs fans who are calling for Postecoglou to be sacked. See you on the other side. Welcome back to the Corner Flag, everybody. And as always, we begin the second half with your questions. Questions, questions, questions with the Corner Flag.
Dude, answers also, huh?
All right, we have our first question from Harnish Nathwani,
Hmm.
who says, miraculously, if Man City drop points and Arsenal win, will City be called bottlers or not?
Yeah, yeah. I think it would be fair to call them bottlers. I feel like
But what have they bottled? They've barely been on the top of the league. They've bottled nothing.
no, but you still expect Man City to win the league, right? Because they are such a
Amog,
force.
it's not bottling if you're not on top of the league, and it's only a bottling like Arsenal did it last year. Liverpool have done it countless number of times. It
No,
is
but
it's a bottling when you're on top
y-
and you have a considerable lead and then you let it go. City, I
you're
don't know. I think
also
they've been on top of the league for 3 days or something.
you're also forgetting that right now the fact that Arsenal are on top of the league doesn't mean anything because City still have a game in hand. So I'm still considering City to be on top of the league because it is very obvious that they're going to win that game in hand. Now, I feel like they'll still be called bottlers because you expect Man City to win every trophy that they're in, and they proved that last season. Because up until last season, you were like, "Acha, theek hai, Premier League is always going to be Cities. They are dominant in the Premier League, but Champions League anybody can win." You know, it was one of those things, but they went and they won the treble also. So I feel like they have reached that point in their history right now where currently they are the best team in Europe, if not the world. So you expect them to win every trophy that they are challenging for, especially the Premier League, which is their bread and butter. They've won it 3 times in a row previously. They're in a fantastic position to win it this time around. So if by some miracle, as Harish Nathwani said, the results don't go their way and City happen to lose the title, I would 100% call them bottlers.
No, no, no. I don't think City have bottled anything. I think the two teams that would have bottled are Liverpool and Arsenal, who have bottled, and I've
Oh no,
always
no,
maintained the two clowness teams.
that though is there
But yeah,
only. It's a top
correct,
three of
correct.
bottlers only in
Top three
regardless
of
of.
bottlers, but I don't think City, you can say City bottled this one, especially considering also they were playing shit football at the start, or shitter football than they usually used to.
But one can
But
argue
yeah,
one can argue that that is a step in the direction of said bottling.
no, no, but I've cleared my definition of bottling is if you're on top of the league and you're in a dominant position and you let that go
I agree.
during the course of the
I
season.
agree with that definition. I think that is a classic definition of the term bottling. But here's where I differ from your opinion, which is that in the case of a team like Liverpool or Arsenal or fuck it, even Spurs, you say that they're bottlers because they've put themselves in a fantastic position all season around, and then towards the end, उनकी फट जाती है. Right. And that is a proper definition of a bottle job. But I feel like certain different rules apply to City, much like they do in terms of 115 charges. But
Yeah, drop a bomb.
certain different rules apply to City in the sense that from day one, when they start playing the Premier League, you expect them to win. Even the betting odds are in their favor. They are huge favorites every season to win the Premier League. So if they're not going to win the Premier League, it is, I feel, still a bottle job.
All right. We go to the next question or statement from Ashwin underscore 040, who says, only one more home game for Klopp. It's going to be so hard not to cry. And I completely get it. And it's incredible. Let me share a very personal anecdote from last
Hmm.
night. I was complaining to my girlfriend about how I'm going to feel about
Hmm.
this. And she just said, listen, talk to Amogh about this, not me. And I felt so bad. And I was like, Amogh will probably laugh at me. And I'm like, I have no listeners.
I,
So Ashwin040, I'm going to reach out to you and cry.
I feel like
Because no one in my life is going to watch me or put up with me crying.
even my wife has the same things to say. When I talk to her about football, she just looks at me confused. She's just nodding her head like, uh-huh, uh-huh. You know, like the penguins from Madagascar just saying, just smile and wave, boys. That's the strategy that my wife tends to use when I talk to her about football. And she says, listen, you have a podcast. where you talk about this, right? Like all the tools are there for you. तूने mic खरीदा है, तेरा laptop अच्छा है, तू lights वाइट्स use करता है, तेरे को editing आता है, तू every week religiously podcast episode upload करता है where you speak about these things. You have listeners who are very nice, who listen to you every week as well. Why the fuck are you saying this to me? why are you doing this twice? Just get it out all out of the way when you record on Monday nights. So yeah, I feel like your girlfriend and my wife are going to be very, very good friends, and the two of us are fucked.
And you and I are not.
Yeah.
We're gonna fight. We're gonna fight over Liverpool and Manchester
Yeah.
United. They wear the same jersey.
Yeah.
They have very similar histories. Even the cities are very
Yeah.
close, but you and I will kill each other
Absolutely.
for it. All right. And we have the last question of this episode, which is Noob Clicks asks us top 5 kits in Europe this season? Question mark. And I have to that first I say Noob Clicks. I don't care, man. Liverpool 1, Liverpool 2, Liverpool 3. Let's go. Those are my top 5 because I'll just repeat the same. 4 and 5.
Okay, so I'm going to be a little more professional about this than Mukesh's, because a listener has
oh
written
my god,
in.
okay, fine. I'll also answer then.
A listener has written in, and Noob Clicks is a regular question asker from our band of listeners. So I'm going to be a little more professional about this. If you're talking about this season, as in the season that's about to end, the usuals, man. Like
in Europe, he said.
Yeah, in Europe. So exactly,
Europe, right?
exactly. So I feel like Ajax have
I always like
amazing kits. I do really like the Borussia Dortmund kits also. I think they are really, really cool. In the Premier League, I think my favorite kit, I want to go with Spurs and Man United for my Premier League picks. And I feel like this season, after a very long time, United finally had a decent home kit, and especially their away, not their away kit, sorry, their third kit, which is the white kit, looks beautiful. So really, really well done by Adidas for finally giving Man United a decent kit design. But while we're at it, Bayern's kit for next season has been revealed, and it looks beautiful. Full red, amazing. I
know it's a weird shout, but I think it's Atletico. I'm pretty sure it's Atletico, which has a new kit with a little bit of like red sprayed on the white. It almost looks like blood, and I just like that. I like it because it also like, I feel like it's a Diego Simeone team. I like that. I could imagine that there are 11 murderers who happen to be playing football, so I like that. I think that's a good shout for me. But I like the Dortmund pick because I think in a sea of reds, whites, and blues, I've always liked the yellows really good.
Absolutely. Do we have any more?
That's it. Nope, those are our questions.
Awesome. Thank you so much for writing in. We do absolutely enjoy listening to your questions and answering them, because it is a lot of fun. So please do keep doing that. And do not forget to support us on all our social media accounts and on our YouTube channel as well. Hit that subscribe button, hit that follow button, and get involved. It will help us a lot. Right. Chelsea 5, West Ham 0. What a fucking bipolar team Chelsea is. Matlab,
man, I am just, how have they sneaked up? I think about the 7th now. In like, they were pretty much bottom half. Man, I'm actually really worried now that they figured out how to score goals, that they're going to be really good next season.
They probably are going to be really good next season for sure, if they stick with Pochettino, because there are also rumors linking them to a return for Conte, which would just be ridiculous by them. But in which case I say, yeah, please go ahead, do it. No, but they are 7th. They are 54 points, 2 points away from Newcastle, and 2 points away from Newcastle, and 6 points away from Tottenham in 5th. So yeah, if things go according to plan, they could actually hit Europe. The worst part is United are now in 8th. We are level on points with Chelsea, although with a game in hand, which is again tonight against Crystal Palace, which we are more than likely going to lose. But we'll get to that later. Fantastic showing by Chelsea, and Cole Palmer again is in the form of his life. From all the 20,000 signings that they made since Todd Bowley joined, I think Cole Palmer has been their best signing.
Yeah, and also I don't know if you saw. I think I mean, speaking of West Ham, I think David Moyes is surely sacked. I think David Lopetegui is confirmed for West
Hmm.
Ham. Uh, I think he complete. I don't know. West Ham was such an exciting team, and I think even right now they're like when you have a team of Bowen and Kudus and everybody, you don't expect them to perform so badly, and they just got picked. And I think one of the goals, I think it was the fourth
Hmm.
goal, where like one one long ball just cleared the
Yeah.
entire team, and West Ham had no answer. So the end of David Moyes at West Ham. Where do you think he's going to pop up again?
Ah, no,
Wolves?
no,
I
no.
don't know.
Wolves.
I mean, or a club
No,
like
no.
Wolves,
Wolves, in
what I
fact,
mean
are
is like.
very happy with Gary O'Neill, so I don't think they'll sack Gary O'Neill for
mm,
for David Moyes. But I think like
Back it.
David Moyes will get a Premier League job. Yeah, he'll get a club like I don't know. Leicester to obviously have a great manager in Maresca. Ipswich, who have also been promoted by the way under Kieran McKenna, which is fantastic.
Yes.
Ex-United assistant coach. So I'm going to look out for Ipswich next season as well. They're doing really well. But yeah, he'll get a Premier League, a middling Premier League job. Honestly, if things don't work out with Daesh, David Moyes returns to Everton. Why the fuck not?
And yeah, just for the sake of narrative and just to get those extra
Yeah,
10 points, like the 10
yeah,
point boost on a
yeah,
manager's return, which probably will do
yeah,
wonders for a
yeah.
club that's always in
Yeah, and
relegation.
also David
But
Moyes
then,
now comes. If he were to go back to Everton, he goes back to Everton with a lot more experience in terms of having managed and fucked up at Man United. But still,
yeah,
7 months of experience at a club of that level. Taken West
yeah,
Ham, managed in Real in Spain with Real Sociedad, so that's foreign experience as
yes,
well. Taken a club like West Ham on a Europa League run, won them the Conference League trophy. So
yeah,
he's also become a more experienced manager, a more a different manager from the David Moyes that managed Everton back in the day. So might be interesting for that. If not that, then
I mean,
I mean
I would just love it just for the
feels.
for the
Yeah,
feels,
yeah,
yeah. For who doesn't like a good
yeah.
narrative?
But do you think Lopetegui is the perfect choice for West Ham now?
I think Lopetegui is like I was very surprised. I felt like he would probably as a Real Madrid manager at some sorry and I think was he a
He
Real
was a
Madrid
Real
manager? He
Madrid
was a
manager.
Real
Yeah.
Madrid manager, right? For a year or something, and managed Spain. I know I expected him to be like more ambitious. The Wolves gig, I don't know,
But
just felt
I
like
feel like it's also come to a point where you have certain managers who've got that experience who are not elite level coaches like an Ancelotti or a Pep Guardiola or even a Klopp, and
mm,
those positions are filled up. Like think about the big clubs. Right? They're like Pep's not leaving Man City, so that job is not available. I don't think anybody would take Lopetegui at Liverpool after Klopp. I don't think you as a Liverpool
no,
fan would
yeah,
go
yeah.
for Lopetegui because even you know.
I mean, we're going for slot.
No, but
I don't
Slot
know.
still gives you a lot newer ideas in terms of freshness, in terms of him not
Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
being known in the Premier League is
yeah,
a slightly a better risk to take for a club like Liverpool. And he's done fantastic at Feyenoord this season. So I think that's an interesting choice. But it is that Mourinho past his prime level where you've got the big jobs, but you're realistically never going to get those big jobs again, even if they were available.
yeah,
And
yeah. Fair
why
enough.
not? With that experience, why not take a club like West Ham and see how you can develop that club? Mold the team in the image of yourself, and see if you can do another cup run. See if you can go higher up the table and maybe qualify for the Champions League. Because we're seeing that happen. We're seeing that happen. Villa are in the contention. Newcastle have been in the Champions League this season. So teams like that are challenging for the top four in the Premier League. So why not?
But I think two things, right? I think the Premier League is actually pretty crowded. So he might have actually been like if you, and the British press is a terrifyingly mad place, especially for foreign managers, and you need someone like either you need someone super successful, like a consistent trophy winner like Guardiola, or a Klopp who can give it back, or a Ferguson who can do both to sort of. Whereas Lopetegui, I think, might need time. Like I do think West Ham is still a very unfriendly place for a
Yeah.
manager. It's not. I was sort of. I mean, for I think it's great for West Ham that they have someone who's won the Europa League, who's coming and winning, managing them. Someone who's. I think he's won the La Liga as a player. I don't think he won it as a coach, but I think he won it as a player, if I'm not wrong, with Real Madrid only. So I think maybe he could have gone to another club in Spain or France or
Yeah.
Germany. But yeah, good for him. I mean, good for the club, good for West Ham for getting a good, nice manager. But I would say it's not a good enough signing for him.
I think he can do fantastically well at West Ham, because West Ham are now also learning to back their managers. Their finances are looking a little better. And I think it's an exciting time to be a West Ham fan, as our mutual friend Kavi Shastri is. So, we'll see how that goes. Right, Liverpool 4, Spurs 2. Is the title dream still alive, Mukesh?
Dream for third place is honestly. We finished, we got back into Champions League football, and we have a
Yeah.
cup. Really, it's a successful
Yeah.
season. What more could Klopp have
What
done,
more could
Amogh? How
possibly
greedy
won
can I get as a
possibly
fan?
won the Premier League? But no, I mean, even if your title dreams are over, I feel like Spurs' top 4 dreams are also over, because they are now 7
Yeah,
points away from top 4 with a game in hand. And realistically speaking, I don't think, with the way they've been playing in the last few games,
yeah.
I don't think they are going to be able to come back from that and leapfrog Villa into that 4th place. But lots has been happening. We'll first talk about the Liverpool side of things, right? Because as soon as I take Mo Salah out of my FPL, the fucker scores a goal and gets an assist. Matlab, and to add to that, I swapped him in for Bruno Fernandes. I got Bruno Fernandes into the FPL, even though I don't get United players in. And Fernandes, even though he was an injury risk, I said, no, yeah, he barely misses matches. We'll get him in. It's Crystal Palace. He's the most informed player right now. He'll definitely be on the end of a goal at least. Penalty to maar dega. Reports are coming in that later tonight, Fernandes is not in the squad because of his injury. So I am just so annoyed with this fucking game.
So Amogh, it was you. You are the reason that Liverpool have fell off this title
Yeah.
race.
Pretty much. That's how I jinx the teams. I get their players into FPL and they fuck up their form. But no, Salah has now become the first player in the Premier League history to score 10 plus goals and 10 plus assists in 3 consecutive seasons.
See, I thought second, right, after Rooney, or is
No,
this
he's
first?
matched Rooney's award record as well. I think Rooney's record was for 5
Okay. Okay.
in 5 seasons, but I don't think it was consecutive. So yeah, well done, Salah. Just I think this is also the Mo Salah send-off tour, and what a way for him to go.
Oh, really? No, I don't think so. I think Mo Salah is definitely staying on.
Really? He's not going to be intimidated by that
Yeah,
Saudi money, because they
I
want
don't
him.
think so. I think I know they want him, but I think he's probably earning about $1 million a week at Liverpool. I know he can earn way more, but I think he probably feels like
He's
think he
not
wants to
earning
play
$1
probably a
million a
champion-
week, dude. No
No,
footballer
I'm
in the
saying
Premier
in
League.
broadly. I know, but I'm saying if you just average it out, all of his earnings from elsewhere, etc., ads, bad. I'm talking so he's earning about 350K a week. I know that's the wage that Liverpool's paying. I'm sure you add on everything. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is, I think because they've qualified for the Champions League, I think he wants to give the Champions League one more try. I think realistically next season, Premier League is out of the picture. I don't think Arne Slot is so good that he can oust Guardiola and challenge Arsenal and get whoever the new challengers, which could be Chelsea or United or whatever. So I think the Premier League is out of the picture. I think everyone's understands that. But I think there's a good chance, like in classic Liverpool fashion, that if this squad, and because Arne Ball is also just high press, high attacking football, like it's sort of like the early Jurgen Klopp sort of football in which you just score many goals and you just play to outscore the team, outscore your opponent, which probably works in cup games. I think he wants to give that Champions League one more shot, which I think is a very good thing. I mean, I think he should. Because he if not 200, maybe the next season after that he gets 100 million, right?
Yeah.
So I don't think it matters. I do think he's staying on.
All right. Speaking of Klopp, though, Klopp had a bit of a rant at British broadcaster TNT Sports. Firstly, this Klopp's Randy Rona about 12:30 p.m. kickoff and all is just थोड़ा ज़्यादा हो रहा है अभी. And it was pointed out
Are
because
you
after
crazy? Everyone's realizing that now. Just shut up,
no,
Amogh. How can you say now every club is complaining
no,
about
no,
that? Literally every other club has realized what he's saying is correct, and every club is now making the same point that he was making. It's just that back then he was alone. Now the voices are louder because other people are talking. Just relax with this hate. You can just be thankful that someone brought it up at a time when no one was really talking
yeah,
about
but
it.
honestly, like again, even after Liverpool lost against Everton, Virgil van Dijk was talking about 12:30 p.m. kickoffs and all. And like, you just lost a derby, dude, against an Everton team that might go into administration. Like, really?
Amog, Liverpool have played the most number of 12:30 games. It's actually an issue. It's actually a legit issue. That is that not only is it fixture congestion, but it's also crowding up the fixtures, and you can actually easily afford to give more
Yeah.
time. It really isn't a big deal. It's a very legit issue brought up. And I'm not saying Liverpool didn't play shamefully against Everton. Those are two separate things. But I think I'm just so happy Klopp is just now like, what are you gonna do? Red
Yeah.
card me? He's just
Yeah, what are
happy.
you going to do?
I was
Send me away? I am going away.
I'm going away, right? So I really think on his last game he's gonna punch a fucking referee or something uh on the nose before he goes.
Yeah.
So yeah.
No, but so he basically said that TNT Sports were the reason why all these fixture congestions are happening, and he told TNT Sports that you can take me off your subscribers list. TNT Sports have had a lovely take down of this because they tweeted a new punditry application and with Jurgen Klopp's name on it because he said, I'm on my time off from management. I'd be happy to work as a pundit. And it says has won the Premier League, check, has won the Champions League, check, is multilingual, check, willing to work at 12:30 p.m. on Saturdays, and there's no check. So very nicely done by TNT. Klopp also mentioned in his rant that Amnesty International should look into this because this is a crime, which is the fixture scheduling. And Amnesty International tweeted to him saying, "Sorry, Jurgen, we're a little busy at the moment. Don't think we can help you. In the meantime, do donate to us though. Thanks."
Sweet, cute. That's very
Very,
cute
very
by
funny.
Amnesty
Very
International.
funny stuff. Very funny stuff. Also funny is Darwin Núñez, not just because he's Darwin Núñez and he can't score a goal, but did you see that
Yes.
he has deleted everything related to Liverpool from his Instagram, apart from his profile picture, but every other piece of content that had him in a Liverpool shirt is now mysteriously gone. There's only photos of him playing for Benfica in Uruguay. Is he on his way out?
Yes. I think it's as clear as possible that he's on his way out. Although the description still says
Liverpool player.
he's like belongs to Liverpool FC and all of that. And I don't know if that's it could be the optimistic. If you're a fan of Nunes, the optimistic thing is okay. Maybe he's just deleted the post because he just wants the comments to stop because he's also restricted comments and everything. Because otherwise, if he really wanted to make a statement, he would have deleted it from his profile also. But yeah, the bad thing and the is probably he's on his way out. There is also interest from Barcelona, like a very real interest. So
I mean,
I don't know. It's
Barcelona are
unbasic.
interested in
I honestly,
everyone.
so here's what I say. Right, here's what I have to say. I think obviously abuse and threats is horrible, and that's just the worst part of any fandom, and so the worst part of any Liverpool. Like even Liverpool is no exception. So it's the worst, right? Like that's a baseline. But I don't think the criticism that's going towards him is unfair. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
If you have the worst conversion ratio in Europe in the top 5 leagues, and I think Chris Wood has outscored him in the Premier League, and I think, and I know if you remove his like Darwin's Nunez's goals against like teams of like Burnley, Sheffield, all of that, he probably has 5 goals or 6 goals, and that's he's the most expensive player in Liverpool history. So I don't think the criticism is unfair, and I think it is like I don't think the criticism is unfair. So I do feel like he's reacted childishly almost to this, but I get it. Like if the threats are affecting you, you shouldn't. That's
Yeah.
terrible, etc. But yeah,
Did,
but I do think he's on his way out.
did you see that ad? I think it was an ad that he did where he was giving a team talk to his teammates in Spanish, and Andy Robertson was there just saying, "I don't know what you said, but that was fucking amazing. Let's go." You seen that ad?
Yeah, where like he's just speaking
Yeah.
in I don't know Spanish or whatever, and he's just like, let's go.
Fantastic stuff. Fantastic stuff. On the other hand, though, a lot of Spurs fans are surprisingly asking for Ange Postecoglou to be sacked And they're saying things like he doesn't know what he's doing, he's playing the same style over and over again, uh, he's being found out every week, it has to stop, he's like a petulant child. Do you agree with this though? Do you think that Ange ball is not really working out for Spurs?
No, I don't think that's true at all. I'm a big fan of Ange Paul, even though he has got results against Liverpool. I mean, in the first game, whatever. But I do think Ange Paul's working. You'd be really stupid to not like Ange Paul. He is very much like Oli Klopp. He's one of the few solutions you have when everyone's going defensive. He's going on the
Yeah.
attack. He's not afraid to concede goals because he believes his team can score
Yeah.
goals. And you would be really, really silly to not back him right now, because keep Ange and get rid of some players. I think
Yeah.
Clivert hasn't had a goal, whatever, some 1,000 years.
Clivert?
Give him the right players. Not Clivert. Sorry. There's one player I forgot. In his, I forgot now, one of those top 3, top 4. Was it Kulievsky? I'm not sure. Kulievsky. Who's not scored a goal in a while. Any of these players, please just get rid of them. They're very, very easily ruining what Ange ball, which can be very exciting, and I love looking at Ange
Yeah.
ball.
No, it's yeah, I completely agree. It should not even be a topic of discussion. It's only his first season. At least give him one more. So I feel like they can really build on this. And you are going to suffer some really bad defeats on the way, but as long as you stick with the manager, I think the results will turn around. And I feel like Spurs are
And
in the
also,
strongest
like,
position that
honestly,
they've been since they let go of Pochettino.
yeah, and honestly, what is the answer? So the top 3 spots were anyway taken before the season began. You knew City and Arsenal were going to be right on top, and you knew one of Liverpool, Chelsea will take the 3rd spot, right? Depending on how it played out.
Hmm.
What are you complaining? He's still in contention for the 4th spot. Maybe it was just a game or two that went this way,
Yeah.
that way. You're playing the best football you played, I don't know, since Pochettino was there in 18-19. You really can't be unhappy with Ange, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. On that note, it is time to end. Don't really want to talk about United versus Palace because, like I said, Fernandes
Let's go.
is.
What's your prediction? Tell me what your prediction.
Palace to win 2-1.
Palace to win 2-1. Amogh, come on. They're not your bogey team.
Oh, they are
Liverpool's bogey team. I do think
100%. I've seen Crystal Palace
I do
beat
think-
United at home. I was at Old Trafford when Crystal Palace beat United at home. They are a full-on bogey
I
team.
remember you going.
Full-on bogey team.
Nice.
So-
Okay, I hope United lose and then they take this fire to go and beat Arsenal.
No chance. वो भी defeat here. There's no chance. I'm a very realistic man. There is no chance. But yes, we shall end this episode on that note. Thank you so much, everybody, for listening to the Conflag. If you'd like to get in touch with us and tell us what you thought of this episode, you can find us on our social media. Mukesh can be found on Instagram at,
Mukesh
and
Manjana.
I can be found on Instagram at Amogh and Mukesh. I was waiting for your and that's because his name is and.
But you've actively discouraged it in the
I
past.
know,
I was like,
and
okay,
now
fine,
I was
won't.
waiting for it, but it's okay. We'll figure it out. No, you can also follow the Cornerflag on Instagram and Twitter at the @CornerflagPod. Do subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@CornerflagPod. It's basically the same name across social media, guys. Just search for Cornerflag everywhere, and we will be there. Hit that subscribe button, hit that follow button, like, comment, talk to us, send in messages, do all of that, share with your friends. Also, do not forget to subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts from. And hit the follow button, hit the automatic downloads on button, because that way you won't miss a single episode of the show. And it helps us because it drives up the engagement and lots of new people get to discover us as well. Shout out to Keza Gurda for composing our theme tune. And until next week, it is goodbye from us. Say bye, Mukesh.
Bye, guys.
And it's bye from me.